airplane out of cardboard. It's something I've always wanted to do. Now, I've built 4 airplanes. This is going to be the 5th airplane. However, I have this a little bit of a weird engineering challenge. Can we make an entire airplane that flies 95% out of cardboard? I think we could probably do it. So I'm going to do it. But first, we need to do a few things to get those wings over there built. I need to figure out how exactly we're going to be using cardboard in this project. So let's do some experimentations. Enjoy this very, very long video about building cardboard airplane wings. It is now time for the beam testing. We have mini beams. Oops, if I don't break them. Before we build the real one for actual numbers calculations, I do have some questions. Like, do the flutes matter? So we are testing the flutes first. This one has vertical flutes. This one has sideways flutes. And this one is a combination of vertical and horizontal. So let's see if these make a difference and test them in this cantilever rig. Okay, we got the first one all rigged up. How many cups of sand can we put on this I-beam? This is the 18-inch one with the vertical flutes. Let's figure this one out. 1 cup of sand. 2 cups of sand. I really think that these beams are going to fail around here. I don't think it's going to rip at the top. I think it's going to crush and collapse. We're testing these cantilevers. It's not the real way we're going to be doing this, but I'm just trying to determine right now which orientation should we build the actual beam in before we build the real beam. That's why we have these small ones. 3 cups of sand. 4 cups. 4 cups of sand. It only lasted 4 cups of sand. Look at that failure mode. It completely just kind of collapsed. And it did tear. It tore here and it definitely crushed there. That was only 4 cups of sand, which is approximately this many pounds. Next up, horizontal flutes. I think this is going to do better because the flutes are not orientated in this manner, so there's no space to crush this way. It's not orientated in a linear manner, so I'm thinking it probably takes maybe 2 more cups of sand to break. That's 2, that's 3, that's 4. It hasn't broke yet. That's a good sign. That's 5. Still looks fine. That's 6. Impressive. 7. Oh, I'm starting to notice some bulging in the paper here at the root. So that's 7. Let's keep going. Let's see what it breaks at. That's 8. 9? It's definitely deforming, but it hasn't failed yet. Oh, there it is. We didn't get to the tearing yet. That's cool. The beam actually just bent and folded over. I'd say 8 scoops of sand. That's 11.2 because I was at 150. And now we test the mixed one. 2 horizontal, 2 vertical. Let's see if this one breaks at. 1 cup, 2, 3, 4. It already beat the first one. Don't see any signs of crushing yet. 5, 6, 7, 8. Hey, that's good. We have 8 and I don't see any signs. Oh, no, I see it on this side. We are at 8 and you can kind of see it there. How that airspace is basically kind of collapsing in as the stress is kind of going somewhere. But on the vertical front, we don't really have anything showing. So that's 8. 9. Oh, it failed at 9. It's pretty consistent, I will say that though. Even mixing them really does make a difference. It really is a waste of time to do it this way, it seems like. So no vertical flutes will be used in the wing spar at all, or at least in this orientation. It's kind of impressive though that mixing the two gets this pretty linear result. Maybe we'll do one more beam experiment because I have some ideas, because all these failure modes are always at the bottom. You can see how the cardboard just really crushes there. It doesn't seem to really tear that much on these beams, except for this one, obviously. This one tore. This one has definitely got no more strength. It's kind of done. But these ones, however, I can still kind of put more stress into them if I'm willing to take more yielding. So that's pretty interesting. It's really impressive how the mixed flutes is just about on par with the horizontal. Obviously, the horizontal seemed to be the strongest because that made it to 11.2 pounds. But this is 10.2 pounds when I measured the weight on the scale. Okay, one more beam. This one, we actually just took some meat off the top and bottom and put these cap strips orientated in this flute direction. I want to see if this is going to be any stronger. 1 cup of sand, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, it's crushing. It's definitely crushing. 6. Oh god, that's horrible. We haven't failed yet. It's still floating. But you can really see the bottom of that beam. It just gets collapsed here. So I don't think a cap strip is really all that helpful. It is helpful from a side loading perspective. But overall, adding any strength? No, caps are terrible. Let's not do caps. Well, let's break this one anyways. 7, 8. That's 9. But it's just moving slowly. Okay, there it is. 9. So yeah, not much more than the other style of strips. It really just becomes down to the air and cardboard that allows it to collapse. So we are going to plan pretty carefully how we build the airplane, because any air voids in the cardboard are obviously just horrible weak spots for us. So I'm going to have to design really around that. This is the worst one, like the vertical flutes, because the reason why is like cardboard is paper, but it also has air in the channels and stuff. When you orientate it like this, that air is not structural at all. There's no such thing as, well, actually there is such thing as structural air. It's like in a balloon or something like that, where it's, you know, under tension you pack more air in there. But anyways, these air voids are specific weak points, because when you're basically testing this thing in like a cantilever fashion, you have a major compression factor here at the very bottom and a tension factor at the top. So there's basically nothing to stop the cardboard from collapsing, and that's exactly what happened when the flutes are oriented in this direction. It collapses and basically fails completely. So, I mean, obviously it makes more sense to make the flutes this way. So you actually have full cardboard down here, and yeah, this one, even though this one has already failed, it's still really structurally strong. Like, I can still bend it even more, but it's not really even going. So that's impressive. It just started to fail and yielded a little bit. Kind of twisted. Now that we've tested the spars, we've got the mixed flutes, the vertical flutes, the horizontal flutes, the mixed cap strips, we've got the data. You know what the data says? Build the actual spar. But now we know which way to build the spar. So we're building the spar now, and this is actually just a real representation of the actual spar. Let's figure out basically the maximum rating we can put on this wing, because I want to figure out where it actually breaks. It's only cardboard too, so it's not very expensive. I don't really care if we have to break it, and plus I can build it in like 3 days. So we have to put the cap strips on now that we have the spar like walls glued up. Those get glued on the top. And that's a pretty beefy spar. I think this will do okay. I'm actually having high confidence that this is going to support at least like 150 pounds. Which if you can do 300 pounds across the whole wing, you know, that's pretty good. Well, between the two wings. So we got the side walls all finished up for the box spar. It's got caps that we have to put on the top. The caps are basically going to do ultimately nothing in this factor, except keep them spaced perfectly apart. And then we're just going to use hot glue for this whole airplane. At least in spots like this where there's a lot of contact between areas that aren't perfectly flat, like we use the wood glue for. So hot glue does a good job of filling it in. That's perfectly what you want. You want to build an airplane that you're going to fly in with spars held together with hot glue. This spar is 13.5 feet long, so we're gonna have a pretty big wing. Like, this is gonna be pretty high aspect ratio, at least when it comes to some ultralight designs. Low aspect ratio would be like you have a chord of 4 feet and you have a wingspan of like 10 feet. That would be a low aspect ratio. If you had a chord of 4 feet and then you had a wingspan of like 30 feet, you'd be like sailplane territory, which is like really good for like drag efficiency, but I don't care. I just need to fly at a low power setting and fly like 10 feet off the ground. So we're going kind of for in the middle. So I'm finishing up the spar here that we're gonna test, but because cardboard is just so cheap, I'm basically going to build the whole wing as it would actually be built for the real airplane that we're going to fly in. To do that, we're actually going to put the ribs on and stuff, although the ribs will add a very small but trivial amount of strength to the overall spar testing, but mainly that's like the side loading and all that nonsense. So we're going to build that. I'm going to finish gluing this thing up, cut out the ribs, glue them on, and basically we're going to have a whole wing like done and ready to test. And then we're really going to break it and see where it breaks. So that's one thing I've never done. All of the 4 ultralights I've built before, we've done stress testing where we load up the wings to like 4 times the amount of expected flight load, which is really good for safety, but I've never actually done an ultimate load test where we load them up to like 8 Gs or something to see when they actually break, because it'd be too expensive to do that. But this is cardboard, so I don't care. This is actually heavy. Oh no, this is not a great sign. I think we can probably put maybe about 200 pounds across this structure. I think it would be strong enough to do that with how built it is. Like, most of the weight's going to be in the wings, if anything, which is a good, maybe bad sign. Because generally you want to build airplanes to fly, not to crash. But it is cardboard, and if it yields in the sky, it'll likely fail completely, and I will crash. It's cardboard, but guess what? It's kind of sturdy. Wow, I could actually knock a small kid out with this thing. Got a little bit of weight to it. It's like 2 sheets of the cardboard over there. This is the weight, though. 155. What is that, max? That's like 7, right? Yeah, it's like 7 pounds. That's not too bad. Spar 7 pounds. Without any design changes, that's 4 pounds. So That's 11 pounds. It's kind of a lot already, and I have to put like the front spar, the air front cap on the ribs. I think I'm looking probably around 15 pounds per wing, which is basically a standard ultralight wing. I was hoping to get him a little lighter since this is like a throwaway airplane and we're not really going to do anything with it afterwards. So I can build it really light since it's only flying an exhibition flight, just, you know, real low over the ground just like 1 or 2 times. But 15 pounds isn't bad, especially if it becomes a lot more durable. That's a wing. Like, I'm holding it in a cantilever fashion where I'm putting a lot of compression and tension at this little joint where I'm holding it up. And there's no signs of failure anywhere. It will never actually be loaded like this, because it's going to be strut face, so that's really going to change up the loading on this. I'm feeling pretty confident. I think this wing's going to hold some weight on this test. I think we can probably put a lot of weight on this. I should be able to sit on this. It is the next day. I've left the spar alone, and guess what? I've made a critical mistake. It turns out one side of the spar was laid up and dry completely overnight, like 24 hours. I guess wood glue kind of holds water. Who would have thought? The other side I kind of built, felt good enough and tacky, and, you know, solid, so we glued it up. You can see it's pretty bad, but it was way worse earlier. So I'm trying to just, like, kind of slowly unbend it. So we're gonna see how far we get. Let's design these ribs, because that's also a cool step that needs to be kind of prioritized and prototyped. Check it out. I've got a rib. At least this is the center section, and it turns out this is kind of awful. See, I was doing some sort of tab and notch philosophy like you're working with wood or foam. However, because cardboard has these flutes, when I cut it out, it is actually just kind of terrible, because then you have this like gap you can kind of see here, which ultimately leads to like poor surface area contact for gluing. So no matter what glue I use, I'm just going to have a hard time. Like you can see, I try using hot glue, but I have to be really careful with how I glue it, and I just don't feel like this is going to be all that sturdy. You see, you can already kind of pull apart. So, rather than doing this, we're going to actually not tab and notch it, and I'm actually going to score and etch it and put doublers on the inside, which ultimately makes stronger ribs. So I built this test rib. You can see the doublers inside. We glued them up like this, and it is so much sturdier. Like actually pretty solid sturdy. Like I could probably, you know, knock someone out with it. Still pretty okay, but it's kind of crappy. So we're going to change it. So I made this. So a little more CAD work, and now we have this. It's more of a traditional truss type design, which I think has good engineering principles, because if you look at the rib, it's carrying like weight of the airplane, like through the structure. It's being pulled up on the top and pushed up on the bottom. So you have these longitudinal members that are in tension rather than compression, because cardboard can survive tension pretty well. It's really terrible with compression. So that is the reason why the diagonals are this way. So this is nice and strong. I think this is pretty sturdy. I did, however, weigh this heavy cardboard on the scale, and I did change one thing, because since I built the spars, made them a little bit thicker, so this new rib is actually taller than the old rib. You can see it there. We're almost at like 7 inches of depth here. Another thing I'm starting to kind of be a little fearful of is cardboard is not the lightest thing in the world. This is kind of heavy. I imagine like a rib made out of like traditional airplane materials would actually be pretty similar in weight to this. Like this thing right here, tips the scales at almost 7 ounces. Like, and I have currently in my mind, I think there's probably going to be like 8 of these along each wing, so that's 8 times 7. It's like 3.5 pounds in ribs. That's a significant portion of the weight, and then we have the 7-pound spar, so we're up to 10 pounds already on like wing. And a traditional ultralight has completed wings that are around 15 pounds. So we're getting up there, and I still put the sheathing on and all that. So I'm still debating on like how we're going to do that, where I'm going to do like cardboard, like brown paper, and, you know, really, you know, stress test this, or we actually just cover this thing in cardboard, give it a cardboard skin. I think the cardboard skin might be okay, and actually may allow me to use less ribs, so we might do that. But this rib weighs 7 ounces. New one, however, being a lot thicker and taller, weighs pretty much 7 ounces too. So that's not bad. Like, we've increased the size and geometry of this rib. It's a lot taller, but ultimately we only managed to really just end up exactly where we were with the other rib. But the other rib is technically smaller, so we do have more size in here with less material. Let's make a dozen of these and glue them to this bar. I tell you, the real savior of this project is this laser cutter that I got at the very start of the channel. When I really was like, I got one piece of equipment, it's got to be this laser cutter, because after working at flight tests, there's no way I'm going back to cutting things with a knife. I mean, I can, but, you know, This thing makes a whole set of ribs in 12 minutes. It's amazing. Oh, these are fresh cardboard pieces. I think I did a pretty good job of nesting it, because in a 48 by 48 sheet of cardboard, I can get 2 ribs out of it. So that's really not too bad. Try not to waste too much material, even though it is cardboard. Rib time! So these things are actually pretty easy. I built them like I designed most of my toy airplanes. When it comes to using some types of foam, it's not like Dollar Tree foam board, which is a little different, but like Depron and stuff, I would actually put this little doubler on the inside. And I'm actually just dotting the glue, because I'm trying to be a little bit weight conscious here when it comes to how much hot glue you put in this airframe. Airframe made out of cardboard. What jokes will I come up with next? Coming soon, downloadable plans so you can build your own cardboard airplane at home. Hey JK, I'm never going to do that. Terrible thing to do. The reason why these seem pretty sturdy is because I have so much surface area. I have this contact area between this bottom part of this doubler and the actual rib itself. And it's super easy just to plop glue all over this whole thing. Here's where I use a lot of glue. I'm not very stingy when I'm using glue on these parts. And it just kind of sits there. This will make more surface area possible when we glue it to the actual spars. Because we're really just going to glue these onto the spars. There's really not much more I'm going to be doing. You know, it's currently October 1, and it's still really warm outside. But the benefit of doing this in the fall is it's not super hot anymore, because I am gluing this airframe together. I think cardboard in the hot sun, it probably actually is okay, because this is some very high temp hot glue. But I don't want to run the risk of the glue coming soft for the airplane just sitting out in the sun. It takes the machine exactly 12 minutes and 30-something seconds to make a rib, but it takes me about 15 minutes to build a rib. I'm going kind of slow because I'm trying to make sure these are put together pretty nicely and pretty tight. But the machine still beats me, even when all I have to do is put hot glue on stuff and stick the little pieces together. We are just gluing up the ribs now. It's a very tedious, long, drawn-out process. But like all of my airplanes and any airplanes in general, it just has lots of ribs. Because usually with airplane wings, they have something in them to kind of hold them and keep their shape. And for these, we have this, I think it's like a fattened Clark Y just to get the spar beefier inside of it. And it's a Hershey bar wing, so fortunately all of the ribs are exactly the same. There's no taper in the wing design and structure, so the whole thing just copy-paste, copy-paste, copy-paste until you have a jillion ribs. So this thing, it is kind of a rib. I mean, it's nothing really fancy or out of the ordinary for me, just the material is. If you guys remember, we did a giant airplane at Flight Fest, and it had a very similar design, except it was like solid foam for the nose, but the rear ones were cut out of a block of EPS, just like this with the rib shape in them. And we glued that together in just a few hours with a couple of kids. This is just the same thing, just built out of cardboard. So I have high confidence in a wing design that's going to work just fine, and we're going to validate that too in just a few minutes, so you guys will see the testing. But for now, I need to finish gluing all this crap together. Man, this thing has a lot of steps. This is just the wing build for this video, and this is going to be a major project on this channel. However, I need to get things nice and organized, which is why I'm using Odoo to streamline this process. Odoo is an all-in-one management software that provides users with a ton of tools for running your business, including accounting, invoicing, project management, inventory management, website creation, and much more. You can even get one app for free with unlimited hosting and support. I've been using this one for this build, which is the Project app. It's just like my whiteboard diagrams and allows me to populate the board and get a clear view of the steps and processes on any project that I'm working on. You can even break more complicated projects down to subtasks to keep things on track and make your deadlines. You can even collaborate in real time and share the project with an external or internal team. It's been helpful for allowing me to collaborate with Dave, my editor, to make sure I know just what I need to detail this wing build that makes these videos worth watching. Definitely check out the app for a free app of your choosing, or you can get all the apps for $24.90 a month. Check Odoo out and click the link down in the description and help manage your business or projects today. The traditional way you build an airplane is you have these wing ribs that you're building. You would build them out of a pile of sticks, some plywood gussets, you would have a jig, and you'd have plans you'd work off. You'd cut each little individual stick, glue it, jig it up, and it would sit there for hours, drying and curing, for the ultimate in airplane rib technology. This is cardboard, and I have a whole pile of ribs here in 45 minutes. So this is great. It's going real fast, but you know, I kind of like disposable airplanes. I don't have to think about them that much when it comes to my design longevity, as long as it flies once. So this is a perfect plane for that. You build it, you fly it once, and then you set it on fire. Hopefully with me not in it. So there is a little bit of a conundrum here. Like, it's like, how do we attach the wings to the airplane? Now, if I build this all at the field, we could probably just build the airplane wings into the fuselage and not really have to worry about it. But unfortunately for me, I have to think about transportation and where I want to take this thing when we're perhaps done with it. The cheating department, I have plywood. Obviously, this is still a cardboard spar with purely just cardboard. However, there's got to be like a mating fixture to attach to the fuselage, and plywood's usually the best way to like kind of make something so we can take it apart. So this isn't really much of the structure. So I think this is still in fair game and fair spirit. So let's glue this to the spar. Good enough for me. Make sure when you tighten your seat clamps when building your cardboard airplane, you only use 2 pounds of pressure, because it is cardboard and it would collapse. Leave some weight on it overnight to try to unbend it too, and hopefully it's not bowed the other way in the morning. Quick note, I stood on the spar because I thought it was so sturdy. I stood on it in this dimension, which is the way we don't load it ever, and I put a preconceived weakness point in here, like right in the middle of the testing area. So this may invalidate some testing, but ultimately I think it's really not going to matter because this thing is kind of a little overbuilt, so it should still be able to take like 200 pounds. Time for the flimsiest rear spar. Why is this one so much shorter? Oh, it's because the dimensions change. I forgot to scale this up. Okay, so we need to redo this. It's finished, sort of. We have to put the skin on it, but how much does it weigh? It's got some heft to it. It's not exactly light anymore. I'm guessing this is approximately 12.5 pounds. 148.6. 161.2. 12.6 pounds. I was 0.6 pounds off. That's not bad at all. I'll take it. So I guess let me do a little bit of math, because we'll put a skin section on. We'll probably skin just a little bit of the wing. I won't probably skin the outer portion, maybe all the way, just because I think it might be a waste of cardboard. I think we're probably looking at like a 14, 15 pound wing, which is like perfect. It's like right on the money. Now, as long as it's strong enough, we'll be fine to fly. Am I really going to fly in this? This is bad. This one panel weighs 1 pound 5 ounces. I already know I need 3 panels for the bottom of this wing, so that's 1, 2, 3, 3 pounds. Nose ribs, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 pounds in just this cardboard crap. And then we have the top. So 7, 8, 9. So that's like almost the weight in this cardboard. So I'm gonna have to rethink my strategy here a little bit. I do not think we're going to be using cardboard, because that's going to be equate to like a 20-pound wing, which is just way too heavy. Way too heavy. You can't do that. Okay, so maybe I'll go back to my original strategy now. I might actually skin just the inner portion just for maximum strength here. And out here, what we'll do is we'll put cardboard and basically build this D area of the spar. So that part will be made completely out of cardboard for maximum toughness and to really keep that spar from racking. I think what I'm going to do is actually just build this out, cut the insides out, and then we'll skin it with the paper. Like brown butcher's paper, because it'll match the texture of this, and that'll be ultra light, so that'll weigh nothing. Nothing says quality like a slightly bent airplane wing spar. Because that glue curing thing I told you, like I pulled it out and we started building the spar before the glue was fully cured, so it really just changed dimensions on one side and caused that spar to really shrink, pull in. So we won't be making that mistake on the final one. I'm really going to destroy this wing. We are going to figure out when this thing breaks. Because I don't really care. I don't really need it for anything else. We're just going to load it up and then break it. Alright, check out my test rig. It's all rigged up. What do you think, Sam?
I think it will do something.
How much weight do you think we can put on this?
At least 50 pounds.
I think it'll maybe break at 250. You think it'd hold 250 somewhere?
I think your rig's gonna break before anything else.
Really? I hope not. Let's go rig it up. Alright, actually, I might need a hand. Could you go over there and grab the other end? See how good my rigging skills are. Basically, we tie it up like this. Start loading the weight. And hopefully, something else breaks before the wing breaks. Which, honestly, it would be kind of crazy if we reached 250 pounds and something else broke and the wing didn't break. We should get Griffin to walk on the wing.
Griffin, you want to stand on
Once
it?
again, select on it.
Oh, that's more than 2 balls. What? Easy,
Stop off,
easy.
we're not ready for this.
Easy.
I'm just thinking.
65-ish.
I wasn't ready for that.
That was 2 balls.
I was holding on to this thing for too long, like, oh no, that's part of the structural test. This rear one will just have a piece of cardboard attached to it just to keep this from fluttering. But, you know, some string is really not breaking the cardboard rule, the 95% rule for this project. Alright, we're ready for the loading. Alright, 42.2, let's go on the wing. The next one will go about here, and we'll put one here, and that'll be like kind of true-ish loading. The loading curve factor for this doesn't look exactly like, it's not exactly like 1-to-1, like where there's 50 pounds over there, 50 pounds over here. It's actually kind of a little distributed in my mind, I think. We have 10 pounds. 46.2. Alright, ready? Is it moving? It's super tight over here. Yeah, 9 pounds. Okay.
8 points.
So we have 9 pounds. We have about 100 pounds so far. Put one here. I'll put another one here.
It's about to touch the ground.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's
You
got...
put it on there.
Oh, it broke.
What broke?
Something broke. I don't know. Oh, that's interesting. The duct tape let go.
That's really good.
Yeah.
At least it was almost touching the ground already.
Sheesh. Yeah, so the duct tape failed. Interesting. I was assuming this would handle a lot more weight. Good to know. Alright, well, I'm not really satisfied with breaking the wing yet, so I'm going to replace this with string and we'll try it again.
What if you end up just using ratchet straps for like the actual
I think it'd be kind of funny.
thing?
Because I really don't want to die, so I'm not going to rely on the duct tape, because the duct tape is not a good idea. Alright, where were we?
Oh.
What the hell, Sam? Don't break my airplane.
I was trying to hit the box. Of course. And it's touching the box.
Did I just hit the ratchet a few times?
Strap it up, Sybil.
Oh no, it's failing there.
Yeah, when you picked it up, you did the...
Okay.
Maybe you need triangles.
Yeah, maybe compression triangles. Okay, this project is going to just be harder. So I want to rebuild this again.
Oh, that's actually, I can't even push it into place.
Dude, that's kind of
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay, so this may have to get beefed up some more. So this isn't going to be a real... What are we testing again? Why are we doing this?
Every time it breaks, just keep adding wood until it's a wood airplane.
Okay, so here's the theory here. We are going to try to figure out where the weak points of the wing are and engineer them out of the problem. Ultimately, I want to see this wing break catastrophically around like 200 or something like that. If we can get to that, I'll be pretty happy. Now, the problem is we've beat it up with all this crap that's not really going to be in the actual wing because it's not cardboard. So, we will break this wing. I will build a new set of wings that we're actually going to fly with, and I'll test one of them to about 150 or whatever the 1.5 times the rated load is. And we'll call that good enough. What is flexing?
Those straps.
The straps are flexing,
Yeah.
not the wing?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I'm gonna take a look in the wing. Like
I
this,
feel like...
very little deviation from the top bottom at all. Maybe like an inch to the whole thing. 110, 120, 130, 140. Where do I 140? Put it down. The struts are just not. Oh, look at the top. Yeah.
I got 1 click.
Oof.
2 clicks.
Keep going.
Okay, that's... Yeah, you really gotta engineer the struts more than anything.
Okay. Well, I could probably locate this out further, right? That would solve some of the issues. I want to put more weight to the center, though, right now, because right now we have a lot of weight further out. I'm really curious about the loading. So I have this pin here, and it is completely compressed in, pushing in. It's pretty strong for that crappy plywood I just found. It's not even like high quality plywood.
That's pretty even.
Oh, okay, it is pretty even.
And then there's like another one, like the weights and lifts and stuff. Like it's pretty even, I think.
Okay. All right.
But these are internet pictures, so I don't know exactly what I'm looking at.
I mean, it's that seems about
I
right.
mean, those are lifts.
Like 110, 120, 130, 140, 150, 160, 170. Where 170 hasn't broken yet, so that's about where I want to be. Or like a little bit.
Not on it? Oh, yeah.
It's off.
Cool.
So yeah, 170, not bad. We've got some major deflections, but I really have to engineer around some things and be pretty careful about this. Oh.
60 pounds.
60 pounds, yeah. So
But that was close to that, so I'm actually surprised it broke there.
yeah, we did 180, and then pretty much the dog broke it, and it didn't break right away.
Beat that part.
Yeah, okay, so that makes sense. So my weak point that I figured from this right now is this rear spar is just not adequately designed, so I'm going to have to make some improvements there. Maybe right now it's only 3 layers thick. Let's do 5 and build this again. Well, I tested this in small scale, and this is the direction, the best direction for the grain.
Like adding a triangle or a...
Oh, okay, yeah, I see what you mean. Okay. What'd you say about that, Sam?
I didn't realize he put all his weight on that rear spar.
I know, that's impressive. And Dave can't get
What the heck is
Dave
going
can't do
on
anything
here?
right. So yeah, if you see it, like he gets up on there
and
it's totally fine. No
He
failure.
made a jump.
And then he moves all the way to the rear spar, which is obviously already failing, and then it just completely caves in and buckles.
You scared my poor dog.
That's pretty good. All right. Well, we have new wings. We have one over there, and we have one over here. So the only thing I'm doing different now is I'm creating a little bit of an I-beam on the rear spar, so that's the only thing that kind of buckled under compression, since it just flexed and just caved in. So this should alleviate that, and that is really the only major minor change I've done to the wing. And then we'll test it one more time to make sure it's solid, and then we just cover it. So you may be wondering what this goofy frame is for. Well, we put this on the first wing that we kind of broke for testing, but the reason why is because I have to actually cover this in something. Now, the cardboard was way too heavy. I already measured each little panel. It was like basically a pound and some change, which is a ridiculous amount of weight in just cardboard, which is the bad thing you don't want in an airplane. Weight plus airplane equals bad time. We want to make airplane light, so airplane fly good. So to make airplane fly good, we use paper, because paper weighs nothing. Although paper is very weak. So we're going to actually cover these insides with paper, but I'm just creating this smooth gluing surface that's very uniform, so the paper can easily attach to it. So we have the completed airframe wing on the scale, but before the covering, it weighs exactly 20 pounds. Holy crap, that's heavy. That's not exactly lightweight. To put this into perspective, into context, a properly designed ultralight airplane wing is probably in the ballpark between 14 and 16 pounds. And that's finished. This ain't finished, and it's over that. But I have high hopes that it's completely structurally sound. It's not going to break, so that's no longer an issue, but I think the wing is actually probably a little overbuilt and probably can actually handle a heavier airframe, but we're not going anywhere near that because we just want to fly. Just barely fly. 40 pounds. £45. So 40, 55, that's about 100 pounds. So we about need 50 more to go. Oh, are we staying on this box? We're lightly staying on that. Scooch it in some. 8.6, but it's 9 basically. So we need 5 of these. I'm just trying to get to about 150 and some change, a little over that. That's a little bit beyond 1G, and really we're just going to do a 1G flight down the runway, and I'm not expecting this airplane to weigh 300 pounds, including with me in it. And since we've made those changes, you can see this is not bending, but you're starting to see some deformation happening here from that I-beam kind of like trying to do its thing. So we just need one more, and we should be solid. I'll put this one in here, though. Nope, we're off the box. That looks pretty solid. I'll take it. It's just the fuselage, which is probably going to be around 30 to 40 pounds. 150 pounds of me. And the tail section, which is probably going to be around 20 pounds. So 20 pounds, 30, that's 50, 200. Half of 200 is 100, so each wing has to carry 100 pounds, which is easily doable considering we want about 50 pounds over the 100 pounds. Because it's so heavy, I have to cover it in something, so the brown paper packing that you can find to cover and protect your floors. I put a sample piece here and we spray it with water, and it shrinks pretty well like airplane covering. Look, it's so good that you can even do the finger test, where you poke it. Oh, and your finger's not supposed to go through it. But, you know, it takes a little bit of pressure, like, that's pretty good. Until it's not. To put that into context, normal airplane covering is very, very tough. This is the Oratex wing from the third ultralight. Like, I can take my fist and, like really hit it. And it doesn't do anything. That cardboard, it just like and it goes right through. So this is definitely unsafe, but I'm gonna fly it anyways, because I think it's safe enough. Looks like cardboard, but it's actually just paper. But it's pretty much cardboard. I mean, what is cardboard? It's basically just paper with the wavy thing in the center to form cardboard. This is gonna be a pretty solid wing, I would say. Just some cardboard garbage, it's turned out pretty sweet. It seems so legit. Like, to build an airplane out of cardboard, or not legit, but like legitimately stupid? Is it stupid? I don't know. It's just interesting. Like, to think I made this out of just complete trash material. There's no reason to do this, honestly. It went together really fast, but to put this in perspective, that wing over there took a lot longer to cover on my third ultralight, although that would technically last like 20 years outside. This thing, if you left it outside overnight, it would just become a wet, mildewy mess. Wings, they look so airplane grade. What do you think, Dave? What is it gonna weigh?
26.
26? I think it's going to be 23.8 pounds. 21.8. That's less than I thought it was going to be. So we have a completely covered flying weight of 21.8, let's just say 22 pounds, a panel, so 22 pounds, 22 pounds. That's 44 pounds in airplane wings. Not good, but not bad either. I'll take it. And now we have a set of completed wings. I made a post on Instagram and asked for some questions. It's time to answer your questions. Total estimated weight. I think it's going to be probably about 120 pounds empty. With the power system, probably make me maybe 150, which is going to be pretty light airplane. Will you promise to fly in it regardless of the final quality? I mean, I'm going to try to fly it. Who knows if it's going to hold up, but we are going to fly it. Is trying to keep it dry and strong worth it compared to traditional metal tube and fabric covering? Well, it's supposed to be a cardboard airplane, so yeah, I think cardboard is probably worth it. I mean, we're just gonna throw it when we're done with it, so. Can you use regular paper as the skin? I mean, we probably could, but I use this craft paper for like floor protection and stuff because it seems a little bit more durable and it matches the cardboard finish. So yes, we technically kind of could use paper, and we are using paper in some ways in this build. Oh, I love this question. How many clouds would you need to fly through to have water damage since it's cardboard? Should we test that, viewers? If this video reaches 10 million views, we will fly the airplane again in a rainstorm. You can definitely sell little sections when you're done with it. I like that idea. Perhaps we will take this to open source or some big event, and I'll give people a saw and let them cut off parts of the plane to take home if I can't find a home for it when we're done with it. Tune in for part 2 where we build the fuselage next week. How would I do this?